Really looking at your peers, especially the ones that are doing great in life, you just start to compare, right? You start to compare, right? Why am I 20 and this other person's 20, but they just achieve so much more than you? But I feel like once you start comparing yourself to other people, that's when you go wrong. I feel like that's where you go wrong and just start to think too hard about it. And that's what's really gonna like mess you up. When you just start really thinking too hard about it, you start comparing yourself to other people, but you have to understand that you're not that other person. You're not that other person, you're you, right? You need to stop caring what like other people think. That's what really messes me up. You gotta really, and I still struggle with that, but you really have to stop caring about what other people think and just do what you do, bro. I try to like tell myself to make the most of that day, cause like eventually we're not gonna be here forever, right? One day, like everyone, we're gonna be gone. So I don't understand why we're living for other people if that's the case. If one day we're not gonna be anymore, what is the point of living your life for another human being? And that's not making you happy. Wake up, find something you love to do. Do that. Do what you love. Do what you love. Do what makes you happy. Constantly trying to please other people. Like my high school year, I don't know why, but this was just always like me for some reason. I always thought people were like looking at me or judging me for some reason. I just don't know why. And I'm sure they had the most pure intentions, right? But just for example, in high school, I would just go to school, and for some reason, I would just always think, especially senior year, this happened mostly senior year, but just for some reason, every time I went to school for senior year, I would just always think like, people are looking at me and judging me and just thinking of the worst, when I know that may not be the case, right? And for some reason, I thought like that as a kid too, right? But I feel like once you understand that everyone is just like you for real, everyone's just like you, everyone is human being, everyone goes through things, we are all sentient beings, we all feel things, right? I feel like once you start to understand that, you start to approach life differently, right? Like every single face you see outside every single day, they're just like you. They're just like you. They're human beings. They feel just like you. They bleed just like you. They cry just like you. Like they just like you for real. And I feel like once people start to understand that, they start approaching life differently. More healthy. Like the way I was approaching life, I feel like I was afraid to do things because of the opinions of others. Like it was just so stupid. I sacrificed my happiness for the opinion of others. It just made me completely like avoid things. I wouldn't try new things because I was just afraid, I guess. And I feel like once you start to realize that, you just strive from there on. Like the number one step, I feel like the number one step you just have to realize, and that's what people fail to do, I feel like. Number one step, you just have to realize the problem at hand, right? And once you realize, you can apply the solution, right? The number one step is to just realize, understand, try to understand yourself more. It's okay to be single. I feel like everyone nowadays is just looking to be in a relationship, but I feel like everyone is trying to find that true love. But I feel like at the age we are now, we're still growing and stuff. We're still learning new things. And I feel like it's best if you just stay to yourself. Because I feel like if you try to force a relationship, it might compromise your your mental, and that's something you don't want to do, especially with the stage you are at right now. I feel like it's really important to just maintain your peace and stay by yourself. There was a point in my life where I feel like I just had to be in a relationship, and I felt like the reason why I thought like that was because I thought a relationship would solve problems within inside, but you can't expect someone to solve your problems. The only person that can solve your problems would be you. So I found it really important to take time to yourself. Spend a year just to yourself, no friends, not even talking to any friends, no relationships of any kind. Just really stay to yourself and really focus on your mental, because I feel like that's the number one most important thing. Because if you have a weak mental, how are you supposed to continue? That's what I'm trying to do this year. This year, I really want to stay to myself and not really focus on relationships as much as I did last year. Prior years, I feel like I just always had to be with somebody, but now I really feel at peace with myself. I don't really have to like depend on anybody. That's a great feeling, to be honest. That's a great feeling, because once you are able to really find peace within yourself, enjoy life just within yourself, I feel like that's the best part. Feeling just always having to depend on person, that feeling, and then when you don't have that person, then you feel like you don't know how to function, right? And that's why I try to stress the importance of really staying by yourself. I'm trying to learn that, like, especially this year. I'm still new to this shit. I'm still new to this stuff. Last year, got out of a relationship, stopped talking to a couple people, but I feel like that was important. And still, you can still have love for people and not talk to them. I feel like you can still have love, but it's important to have love for yourself, because if you're not caring for yourself, then how can you care for other people, right? I feel like really take a year to yourself, really focus on what you really want to do. I feel like it was really important. And for most people, I can understand how that's like really hard, because some people might not even know what they want to do. You guys are still so young, right? So me, I'm 20, and I'm still trying to just figure out my life. Consuming negative energy, I feel like, would just lead you to think more negative energy. You know, I realize I find more peace when I'm just away from social media, just not worrying about other people. I used to have another Instagram account that I had during middle school, and I would just follow a bunch of my peers in middle school, right? And then I would just constantly check. Any new updates or anything like that. But I don't understand why I am focused on somebody else's life when I have mine to live, right? I have so much life to live, and I'm worried about somebody else's life. And that's where people go wrong. I feel like you just gotta worry about yourself and stuff like that, bro. Right, so I deleted that account anyways. And I just stopped worrying about that shit, bro. I just stopped worrying about that stuff, because it was just really affecting me. I feel like it wasn't allowing me to think properly. So once you just separate yourself from people, bro, just take a year to yourself. I feel like you really start to learn more about yourself, and you just feel way better. Like, it's okay to be alone. I feel like, bro, that's actually where people go wrong, though. They actually truly feel the need to be with somebody 24/7 or something, or just the need or the approval of somebody's opinion. And I feel like once you just realize you don't need that, and you can actually function normally by yourself, then you just start to strive from there. You just blossom and shit. You just start to blossom. I feel like you really improve as a human being. Like, people are so like attached with one another. They don't realize like they have a whole life to live ahead of them. You feel me?